Alright, boom. Yo, if you're a Gen Z and you feeling lost in life, let my story give you some insight and some advice and to, help you mitigate that feeling of being lost or, feeling like you're behind or, you know, just purpose in life basically. So for those that don't know me, my name is Jaylon Duncan. I'm going with the whole Gov. Um, yeah, so people call me Lonnie. This Instagram. My YouTube channel is just Lonnie. So long story short, I dropped out. I joined the Air Force, and ever since then, life has just been just good for me, at least my experience. So with that being said, let's get straight to the video. The video is just gonna be more about like my story and where I've been and stuff like that. I haven't uploaded a YouTube video in like a year or some change, I believe. So with that being said, let's start at college, right? So graduate high school, you have your high school summer, and everybody's chilling, doing things and whatever, whoop de whoop. Then you have your freshman year. That's like your first real like level of responsibility, and you just live, away from home, just living by yourself basically on camp. But me, I lived 30 minutes away from camp, and I was just going home every weekend and just seeing my mom because I wasn't trying to go like far away for real, which is funny as hell, right? I wasn't trying to go away. So, freshman year, we're doing things, we're just not focusing on the things that we need to be focused on. You feel what I'm saying? It's that freshman year, boy. But yeah, there's some videos I dropped about that from my freshman year and stuff like that. Probably back in my channel. I need to probably make those videos public. But anyway, yeah, it's freshman year. I'm working at valet. You feel me? I'm working as valet, and I'm parking this truck. All right, I'm parking this truck, and I Mac a Porsche, bro. It's a Porsche in the parking lot. Mac that shit. You feel what I'm saying? So it was the scratches on the Porsche, and I told my manager because I know who to tell. I'm like, yo, I scratched the Porsche. I don't know what to do. He's like, Duncan, just go home, bro. Just go home. We'll call you. So got fired as valet, but I skipped a couple steps though. So before I got fired as valet, I was doing college, and I'm thinking like, yo, this is not gonna work out, bro. Because for me, college was like high school part two, and I was not trying to just be stagnant in a position where there's no growth happening. So I went to college thinking it would be different. It wasn't different, bro. So I'm in college. I'm thinking it's not gonna work. I hit up a recruiter because I've been thinking about the Air Force since sophomore year of high school. I hit up a recruiter, and we started talking, and I go through the MEPS process and everything. I'm in DEP. For those that don't know, that's the delayed entry program, and that just allows you to just stay in that program and find a job and prepare for what basic like boot camp basically. So you prepare for boot camp. So I go to MEPS in December. After my fall semester freshman year, I go to MEPS, and MEPS was cool. MEPS was definitely cool, but we're here to talk about MEPS. So forward. So yeah, spring semester, cool. Got fired as valet. Boom. And then I went to basic. The week that I finished my semester, that next Tuesday, I was in basic training in Texas. So in San Antonio, Texas, baby. So feel me? I was cool, that was cool. Shout out my Wolfpack. Wolfpack, lead the way, Wolfpack. All right, anyway, but yeah. So boot camp is, I ain't gonna lie. If you work out and you're part of like, if you ever part of like a sports team or like you ever like summer camp, that's basically what boot camp is. Like majority of y'all watching this, I say like 85% of y'all watching this will be able to pass boot camp. Even if you can't do a push-up, they'll teach you how to do push-ups. Even if you can't do a pull-up, they'll teach you how to do pull-ups. If you can't run, they'll teach you how to run. You feel what I'm saying? So anything you think you can't do, they will teach you. That's what they want. They want people that's going to come in and change themselves, basically. Because that's what boot camp is all about. Shedding your old identity and learning a new identity, but also embracing it when you're done. And, anyway. So boot camp is fairly easy. You learn to work with others. If you play sports at all, it's a cakewalk. Max difficulty, I feel like, is a 6 out of 10. I'm not gonna lie. 10 being like 2-a-days, football, sports, like that's like you working out twice a day and you running a whole bunch and working out a whole bunch. 0 being just laying at the couch, watching Netflix, eating potato chips. So yeah, about a 6 out of 10. And I know a lot of y'all don't want to leave y'all girlfriends and boyfriends and families and stuff like that. Let me tell you something, bro. For all my men watching this, as a man, you need to leave home. You need to leave home, bro. You need to leave home. That's just what that is. You need to hop off the porch and go build your life. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not saying abandon your family and friends. I'm saying go build your life somewhere else. Come back with all that knowledge and information that you have and share amongst them. You know what I'm saying? That's how I view it, at least. So as relationships, your relationships will be tested, but in that test, you will find out who's really for you and who's not. You know, for fire to for something to show light, it has to endure burning. You know what I'm saying? To bring light, you have to endure burning. So with that being said, don't run from it, bro. Don't run from moving away. Don't run from long distance stuff. Long distance would just like it would you know when you pour something in like a strainer. It's called a strainer. So the distance, think about the distance being a strainer, and your relationships is the stuff you're putting in the strainer. The ones that last, that's in the strainer, those are your dogs. You feel what I'm saying? The ones that fall out. But also, sometimes fallouts just happen. So don't blame it just being on distance. Sometimes, you know, yes, it is harder to maintain relationships and friendships when you're away. But the ones that really like keep in touch with you and you guys like talk every now and again, those are your dogs. And you know that for a fact. I'm telling you right now. So with that being said, moving on to finances. Being in the military, you don't get paid much. But me being a 19-year-old that ain't really like see no money for real besides like, you know, working jobs and, you know, my mom and my dad, my family type of, like never really had your own bread for real besides just working, you know, regular jobs, right? Me with barely any like rent or bills or, you know, mortgage and this and that and this and that, I make people in my shoes make a pretty decent. What the hell, boy? What the hell? Okay, for sure, yeah. But we make a decent amount. It's not a lot, but it's not a little bit either. It's not a little bit, but it's not a lot. It's what you do with it is very stable, very very stable. What you do with your money will reflect. You know what I'm saying? So your lifestyle will reflect your bank account, basically, or your bank account will reflect your lifestyle is what I meant. So finance is not a lot, but it's not a little. But you can also do things on the side. You can have your own businesses. You can work at a second job if you're approved. Like finances is no problem. You don't pay for food. You don't pay for mortgage. You don't pay for housing. None of that stuff. So it's fairly easy. Like your biggest expense will probably be a car. And if you're like me, you're smart with your money and you drive a Honda, a 2016 Honda. You feel what I'm saying? So paid off. So with that being said, finances is really up to you. Also, in the military, you make less, but you spend less. You see what I'm saying? So you make less, but you keep more. In the outside world, you can make more, but you're spending more. So it balances out, basically. The hardest part of being in the military, I'd say, is the distance. But it gets easy. Like, you could go home often. You can, you know, have your family come to you. You can fly somebody out. You feel what I'm saying? I might be guilty of doing that. You can fly somebody out. And what the regular day, let me go more about the hardest part. So the distance, me, I'm kind of lazy. I'm not going to lie. I don't like waking up in the morning, but I do it anyway. And every time I do it, I feel good. I just don't like doing it. So, which is crazy. I don't mean I don't like waking up, but sometimes in the morning I gotta wake up at like 6:30 a.m., 7. But either way, that's what you're supposed to be doing. That's what we're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be waking up early, getting to these cheese, you know, getting right, feel me, getting bread, thanking God, and just doing your thing. Anyway, what a regular day in the life looks like. So, regular day in the life, right? So for me, at least, wake up, you know, brush my teeth, make my bed, do my push-ups, wash my face, all that, feel me? And then I go to work. I drive to work, it's like 10 minutes. Oh, before I do that, I go get breakfast, which is also completely free. It's a good breakfast, too. I'm telling you, boy. I'll show y'all the video or something later if I'm, like, remembering and stuff. Just show y'all what I'll be eating in a day in the life. So I get my breakfast, then I go to work, 10 minutes drive, you know, go to work, do my job or whatever. My job is I I talk to pilots and stuff. I talk to jets and stuff like that. So boom, do my work, and then lunch break. You get a 2 hour lunch, so you go to lunch. Me, I take a nap, then I go eat, then I come back. Chill sometimes, things like that. Talk amongst your peers, talk amongst your coworkers, things like that. Just just chill around the office, or if you're doing the job, do your job. Simple, easy, easy. I'm telling you, bro. This stuff is not what people make it seem like, bro. And then just go home, and then we have PT in the afternoon. So after work, I know a lot of people have PT in the morning. So PT is basically physical training. So it's just working out with your unit, or the people that's in charge of you and the people that you work with, stuff like that, for those that don't know. So you just you work out together. That's basically what that is. Basically like team practice, bonding, whatever. But you're in the military, so you need to make sure that you're in shape. So that's what that is. It's not too hard. Sometimes we play basketball. We have the option of going to the gym, of, playing football, things like that. If your leadership is good, I'm not going to say if your leadership is good, because most are. But you will it will be fun for you. It will be fun for you to enjoy PT. It will be good for you to just, bond amongst your teammates and your fellow airmen and things like that. So, and then after PT, I come home, I get some food. If I'm not doing jujitsu, I'm just chill. I'm trying to get back into recording content, as you guys can see. So that's regular in the life. And then I come home, shower, play the game, and just vibe, bro. Actually. And then the biggest thing for me is the mindset shift that I've had. Bro, last year, I was not able to do the things that I'm doing now. Last year, I was not able to get in Penn State. I was not able to. I was not able to get into the colleges that I want to get into, because I was able to get in, but I didn't. How am I gonna pay for this? You feel what I'm saying? I don't have no scholarship. I don't have no daddy, mommy money. You feel what I'm saying? So with that being said, I've my mindset on things that I can do has increased dramatically, just off of me signing a paper, going to Texas for 8 weeks, and just chilling. You see what I'm saying? Now, a lot of things are more possible for me now, but I know I made this video sound like Air Force life is super easy, but that's because that's my outlook on life in general. I feel like this stuff is for the taking, and you can do anything you put your mind to. That's what I think. So somebody else might hate their life and tell you that somebody else might be in the same position as me, but hate their life because they didn't get the job they wanted, or they didn't get the base that they wanted. Yes, I would be open to switching jobs or going to a different base like Hawaii or Japan, things like that. But you got to take the wins and the losses. You feel what I'm saying? You got to be able to just look around your surroundings and be grateful. So regardless if I was in the Air Force or not, my life would be good. That was my opinion on life in general. So when you hear all these people talk about like the military this, the military that, that's just how they think. You know what I'm saying? That's just how they think. The military is subjective. It's what you make out of it. I've heard the saying that what you put in is what you get out, and that is very much true. That is so true. Like, I'm about to finish my associates. I'm up a decent amount of bread. It's just a lot. I got a car. I got a whole sleeve now. I mean, not that this ain't any important, but I'm just showing you guys like the difference of me last year versus the difference in me this year. You see what I'm saying? So, me this year is surpassing me last year, and that's how it's supposed to be. But it's not even like a close race. It's like this guy was like right here. Like I was doing good last year. Don't get it confused. I was in college. Feel me? I passed all my classes. I was in the gym. I was making my content. I had a job. Feel me? Doing good. You know what I'm saying? I also had a car. But me this year is like that, but like, you feel what I'm saying? All I did was join the Air Force. All I did was join the Air Force. That's all I did. That's all I did. The victory is ours, but the glory is his. You feel what I'm saying? So with that being said, I technically dropped out and joined the Air Force, but life has been good, man. I've already been to Arizona for 6 months. I've been to Texas. I've been to Mississippi, just off the strength of the Air Force. I'm planning trips overseas. I'm able to do that without asking, my mom, hey mom, can you get me this? Dad, can you buy me this? Like, I was not about to keep doing that and be 20 years old. I know for the majority of y'all, I think that's okay. But for me, I have different aspirations and different goals in life. So for those that think like me, I hope this video was useful to you. And for those that don't think like me, I pray that the Lord opens your eyes for you to see. And I just hope everybody just, come together on this video. Tell me your comments. Tell me your opinions. Feel what I'm saying? If you think I said something crazy, let me know in the comments. If you think I'm stupid, let me know. If you think I'm, saying what needs to be said and you're listening and you want to connect with me, shoot me a text, DM, whatever the case may be. I'll always respond. So that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I will probably upload another video. I'll see you next one though. So, safety.